cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor. Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home. And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Are you buying a home? Westgate Bank understands that you need to make important decisions during your home buying journey. Our local lenders in Lincoln and Omaha make themselves available so you can get the information you need to know. Use our mobile mortgage app to manage your transaction from pre-qualification to closing, no matter where you are. Get the service and convenience you want from a local community bank where our interest is you. Learn more and visit us online at westgate.bank. Westgate Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Lincoln's new craft cocktail lounge is Bar 48 in Lincoln. Located at 2639 North 48th Street, Bar 48 offers everything from cocktails to beer to wine and so much more. With summer right around the corner, you can always enjoy Bar 48's frozen beverages. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on their live music performances every Saturday night. Make plans to visit Bar 48 on North 48th Street in the heart of the University Place neighborhood today.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome in. Don't Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got DeMornay Pierson-El, the host, as always, streaming in. You guys can join in via the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. You can put a face to the voice, Facebook, YouTube, XL, Channel 961. Just wrapped up with our second day of state baseball coverage. That one wrapped up. Miller North Mustangs won over the Elkhorn South Storm 4-0. And the other games throughout the day, on this Monday anyways. We had Millard West winning 1-0 over Papillion La Vista. We had Kearney Papillion La Vista South winning over Kearney 3-0. Lincoln East won over Millard South 3-2. And like I said, the last game we just wrapped up with, Millard North wins in a shutout 4-0 over Elkhorn South. Let's go ahead and bring him in though. Good morning, Pierson-El. How's it going? Hopefully you survived the storm here that just ripped through Lincoln, at least not too long ago.
Not doing too bad, not the storm didn't get me, so I'm fine for right now.
Yeah, I think, we are live on the brick and mortar as there's no Royals with our state baseball coverage and everything. So if you are driving, be safe. It does look like, at least, from the nice view of my window, that the rain has stopped. But it was an absolute complete downpour for a while there. I'm surprised we got all these state baseball games in, high school baseball. I really doubted that they were going to get all games in today, all 4 of them, but they managed to do so. So shout out Nick Sainer, Austin Orman, and just the entire crew out there. I'd imagine, man, that had to have been a mad hell sprint to put the tarp down as soon as that last game wrapped up, because they got to go back out there tomorrow. I mean, they had to get that thing covered up. Yeah, shout out everybody down there. I mean, we got through all the games just fine. Other quick news I want to get through. Nebraska baseball made it. They're in the tournament. They did it. They will play tomorrow versus Sparty, Michigan State Spartans. That is the last game of tomorrow at 6 p.m. And then also softball team just dominating. They were already in regionals for Baton Rouge, and they tore their way through that one. Give the scores real quick. So they beat UConn day 1, 10-2. Then they beat Southern Louisiana 14-1.
Man.
And Southern Louisiana actually beat ranked LSU. LSU ends up losing, so they go to the elimination bracket. They beat UConn. They get Southern Louisiana again. LSU loses it again, so they drop it 8-7. That's how Nebraska ends up beating them 14-1. They got to beat them twice though. They play them again. They beat them 8-0. So dominant performance from them. They will get Tennessee, who I do believe. Text line, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they got them earlier in the year on a win. So Nebraska's already, I want to say, beaten them once. Tennessee, they were in the Knoxville regional. They were pretty dominant. They won the entire way through. They beat Miami, Ohio 17-0. Then they beat the Ohio State 4-2. Then they beat them again for double elimination 5-0. They will have Tennessee. Jordy Ball is everything that she was said to be. She's a baller. So you feel pretty good with her back there. Yeah, that's where we're at. Are you surprised at all to see softball take the jump that it's made?
No, I remember this conversation we had earlier in the year where he was like, well, who's a coach at the university who deserves, more flowers and everything like that. And I said the softball coach. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I'm not surprised by it and everything like that. She's definitely, taking steps and whatnot. Happy for her. And I believe you said the wrestling coach was actually your pick. So 2 good coaches actually who had dominant years actually this year. It's funny how we picked opposite sides but still got to the same goal. So hats off to you for picking that. I remember I remember you saying something about that. But no, it's not surprising. She's been consistent. Last year was a huge year for them. They won I think they won the Big Ten last year, if I'm not mistaken, correct? I'm
pretty sure they did. I'll double check right now.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. So no, it's not surprising and everything like that. I mean, you got, you following up another good year with this year. So just hats off to the coaches and the players involved.
Yeah, and man, how long has Ron Revelle been coaching now? I'm trying to think.
A little while, I think.
Actually, Michigan won the softball tournament last year.
Last year?
Apparently, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Nebraska, that's right. Nebraska softball, we lost to Indiana in the semifinal. That's what it was.
Well, they recently just won something. If it wasn't last year, maybe the year beforehand.
Last year, I want to say last year was a good year just in terms of Big Ten titles overall. Because baseball got one, track team got one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say men's gymnastics got one as well. Bowling, there isn't a conference, but you might as well just give it to them if the rest of the Big Ten teams had bowling. It was a lot of Big Ten trophies we got to bring home last year. And then for baseball, I mean, it's just a way to save your head a little bit here. If you can make some noise in this, maybe you can squeak your way in, but you got to pretty much win out throughout this Big Ten tournament if you're going to find yourself in any sort of regional. I will say, though, how important was it just for Nebraska not to miss this? Because this year it is in Omaha as well at Charles Schwab.
I mean, I think it was. I don't want to say a huge that they necessarily didn't make it, but again, the consistency each year in and year out that you can hang your hat on certain things and use as a recruiting tool and continue to follow up things. I think it's definitely big. And we knew they lost a lot last year. We knew kind of what things was, and then it was an emotional start off to this season and everything like that. So for them to weather the storm and still get to where they at and everything like that, it's definitely on the positive side. But I mean, were they expected to go back to back Big Ten champs? No. You know what I mean? So I mean, for them to figure it out and still get there, I mean, they can hit a run late and end up, deep into the tournament. It's still, it's still up to debate. So you want them to have a chance, and they got a chance. They got there. So you like to have that. I mean, it's certain things off your checklist that you want to check it off, and attending the Big Ten tournament is one of those things. And there, everything that you kind of want, honestly, is still in front of you.
Yeah, and this one, I mean, when you have the opportunity to essentially host it, like, you don't want to be back at home watching. And they lost their best pitcher, I mean, fairly early in the season as well. So to your point, like, it's just good look to battle back and be there, because, like, you got enough excuses why you can't be there, why it just wasn't, in the cards that year. But you also got a lot of reasons why you should be there. And they found enough of those reasons to make their presence. And really, they ended the year in a somewhat decent route. I mean, it got to a point during the stretch there, really, I want to say it was after UCLA. We dropped 3 straight to UCLA. Then it just kind of felt like we might win a couple of games in a row, but 3-4 losses are on the other side of it.
Was that before the guy got hit in the face?
I think was that the series where he did get hit?
I can't remember, but
that was really early when he got absolutely drilled. That picture still makes me cringe a little bit every time I see it. I don't even know those, like, your face could inflame like that under that kind of pressure, but it was a tough look. But yeah, they really just found a way to win enough at the very end. Like, they never went on a big dominant run where they're on a huge streak, but you win 2 versus Minnesota, you drop 1. You win 2 versus Michigan, you drop 1. You win 2 versus Purdue, you drop 1. They were just doing enough
to stay in the hunt.
2, drop 1. Win 2, drop 1. I mean, it was like that for about every damn Big Ten series we had, outside of UCLA, where you dropped all 3, and Northwestern, where you won. Oh no, you dropped 1 versus Northwestern as well. So yeah, just about every single series has gone for Big Ten has gone completely, 2-1 for the most part. The weird part for Nebraska is, like, it's the non-con stuff that we always talk about for the baseball team. Dropping the games to Omaha and Creighton constantly is what kills this squad. Early in the year, they showed signs like they can beat the best teams out there, but I don't know what that is in baseball. Did you play baseball growing up at any level?
Baseball was my first sport, but I mean, it quickly became the last sport.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about, but there's something to be said about consistency in baseball that seems to be harder to establish than any other sport, because, like, it we'll see it come the Big Ten tournament, and maybe it works in Nebraska's favor, right? Where for whatever reason they just get hot and they end up making a huge run the same way Penn State did when we beat them last year for the Big Ten championship, where they're the last team in the door, but they somehow made it all the way to the final. It's baseball in a nutshell for whatever reason.
That's kind of the some of the wacky things that kind of go, with baseball. I mean, all sports, is a game of runs, and I kind of say that a lot, but theirs is a little bit different. Baseball athletes are a different breed in itself mentally. With other things, I mean, I think they're the best, probably all around athletes. So for them to be locked in, and then when things do start to heat up and everything like that, it feels like, everybody kind of turns it on at the same time and elevates it. It's funny kind of how that happens.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more contagious sports where it's like once one bat starts swinging, it feels like everybody's
Pandora's box just opened.
Yeah, and we see that all the time. You know, you really see it in softball. Some of these scores in softball, it's like you guys need to get out of that game because right now the mound is absolutely at a loss and the bats are just swinging because you see some of these scores, especially in that first round there, and that wasn't even that bad of a score. But you look at Nebraska, it's like 14-0. You look across, and it's like 22-1, 25. It's like, geez, some of you guys are just getting absolutely lit up. But that's all I got on baseball softball. I want to get an update on that as they deserve their respect. And as you pointed out, Rhonda Revelle, one of the better coaches at the University of Nebraska, coaching that softball program. I do want to talk some college football here. And this one was, make sure I get the proper credit here. David Hale, ESPN, wrote an article ranking all of not the QB himself, but the QB room at every university and tiered them. And I'm curious of what you think about these tiers because Nebraska, I think you'll be surprised. Whatever you think about Nebraska, I think people will be surprised where they end up landing. So it's ranking all 136. We're not going to spend the time on all 136, but he's got his tier 1 top class of quarterback situations. So you got Clemson, LSU, Oklahoma, Penn State, and South Carolina sneaks in there as well. Any problems with that?
What about Arizona State? They got a top 5 quarterback, but okay.
I don't know how they rank this list because I have a lot of the same thoughts. He's in this list, but and he's in a good spot. But you think you would.
You got. I mean, with South Carolina, I mean, a lot of people I know that quarterback is a hot topic, and they'll be talking about him. To come, he was a freshman. He has a lot of tangibles and everything like that. But they're saying like if he can put it together, if he can be consistent. So that's the only one that I'm a bit of a head scratcher with that in that list. But if he has more solid games or good games, then I understand it. But that's the only team that I'm like that's debatable.
Yeah, and
all the other teams on that list is like, okay, for sure, it's a pretty good idea. They have multiple years playing at least, but him is like I wouldn't have put him there right out the gate.
Well, they have it's the QB room as well, so they take the quarterbacks that might be expected to play. So they have Aaron Nolan, maybe he's a really good recruit, and that's bumping them. So that's where this list is a little different. Again, they're putting the whole room in there, not just the starting QB. So then he has that's his tier 1. Then he has his 1B class, and then it's Florida, Miami, Texas. So DJ, Carson Beck, Arch Manning. Any problems there?
I don't quarterback room. Okay, that's you got a national champion, national champion on that list, and he's a tier 2. But okay, I understand room, but all right.
It gets more confusing. Don't worry about it. Okay, tier 2 labels this one pretty darn good. 8 players in this. Arizona State. So that's where he falls. Just pretty darn good, despite everything. Put him in tier 2. You got Baylor, Georgia Tech, Iowa State.
Okay.
To me, this is where Arizona State jumps up the list, though. You feel really good about having Sam Leavitt there for another year, but whatever. That's where they sit. Tier 3. Now it gets big. Now you get a big group. Notice how I haven't said Dylan Raiola or Nebraska yet either. So now this is the 3rd tier of best QB situations. Arkansas, Duke, Kansas, Louisville, Navy, SMU, TCU, Texas Tech, Vanderbilt. And, we can go through all these names. Some of these guys you're not even going to recognize. Okay, tier 4. The Young Pups. Michigan, Bryce Underwood. He's a tier 4 guy already. Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Washington.
Wow.
Tier 5. The waiting is the hardest part. 9 players. Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Oregon. The second time's the charm. Tier 6. That's where we finally get to Nebraska. He's got Kansas State, Nebraska, NC State, Texas A&M, UCLA.
I think we would have a stronger QB room. I mean, you got a veteran guy that could have left somewhere else and didn't because, pretty much people asked him to stay. He can play, clearly because he's on his level. You got, a freshman phenom who's honestly, with some of these other guys that you didn't listed before him, he's outperformed them while having a coaching change in the middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, your third string Wildcat quarterback wasn't too bad at all either. But yet, that I don't understand what all goes into that. And I'm not saying that, we have to be up in tier 3, but tier 6 is crazy.
Yeah. That was
you got Michigan to where you don't necessarily you think but you don't know.
You don't know. That's where I landed. And even if you want to go off of the limited data, we do know it looks bad. It didn't look good. Now, I'm not holding that over his head. I don't think it's fair to hold the spring game tape over his head, but even the small sample that you did get didn't give you anything to say he's definitely, watch out. He's the next big thing. There's some hype around him. The whole list just confuses me. Tiering the guys out, you're putting them in tiers, but at the same time,
a lot of these players is okay, you're talking about quarterback room when a lot of them you haven't even seen them play probably in a year or two.
Yeah.
So what does it even matter? Why not just go ahead and just list the number one guy? Because that's what it's going off of.
It's going off of the university more than it felt like the names at certain points of this.
You had ASU in tier 4,
mm-hmm.
and outside of maybe Clemson, them and Clemson are the only returning 2 schools I think in the that had teams in the playoffs, and you got both of them outside of tier 1 or 2 is crazy.
Yeah, I don't. So like I said, not my list. David Hale, ESPN. If you guys want to tell me about
it, that's clickbait right there. I'm not really feeling.
It's he's got a lot on it. He has a lot of data on here on how he breaks it down. It's just how he breaks it down, he just loses me on.
And you got Carson Beck, who honestly, if he still was healthy, they probably would have won a national championship.
Yeah, you could make a legitimate argument. Them or Ohio
State. You got a true sophomore ahead of him. Come on now, Beck is Beck may be a 2-time national champion. All right now, I understand, he was at Georgia, things was easier, but he in some of those games, he still had to ball out and make some things happen. So like I said, I understand that the numbers, his numbers or whatever can be skewed because he got hurt last year and everything like that. But I mean, if you're looking at other QBs or if you're not looking at other QBs, I mean, I guarantee you a lot of teams would take Carson Beck over some of those tier 1 guys or, whatever the first 4 tier was. So I'm not in agreement with it. I'm not.
Yeah. I kind of figured that type of reaction. I figured it'd be good to bring
he's in a whole QB room. Okay. Maybe 15%, and I'm saying out of all tiers, maybe 15% will play.
Well, that's the part where, also just the idea of tiering these QB rooms. It's 60% of these rooms that we're grading, we don't know diddly squat about the guys because they haven't played yet.
They ain't gonna play.
Exactly. And then we'll do the next year's tier groups about guys that still have yet to play. So, it's kind of fun to do these exercises. But I was, maybe hoping to see if you saw something that maybe I was just missing on this list, and you guys can go look at it. He gives a lot of data points, and how he breaks it down.
Numbers lies too. I don't want to hear it. He can't tell me. Well, outside of reading that article, you can't tell me. 2 or 3 SMU's backup is the reason why you got them where they are.
Yeah, well, that's also not gonna put the data points in there. That tells
I think their quarterback is coming back, and they were a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
They won they might have lost the ACC championship, as a matter of fact, but still, darn good team.
Yeah. Well, we have more off season to wait for more of these juicy articles.
That's a fail. That's a fail.
Don't go anywhere. We'll talk NBA next. Don't worry about it. Don't punt Tower. Good morning, Pierson-El, Harrison Arns. We'll talk to you on the other side.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more. When daily energy fades and your drive just isn't what it used to be, Game Day Men's Health helps you step back into top form. Game Day Men's Health is one of the country's fastest growing clinics, and they focus on men's wellness, providing customized solutions with professionalism and privacy in mind. Testosterone optimization, weight management, vitamin injections, and shockwave therapy are just a few of the many things they offer. Restore your energy and rediscover confidence with the help of Game Day Men's Health, because every man deserves to feel his best every day. Visit them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com today or in person at one of their 2 locations in Omaha.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
At Raising Cane's, we focus on being the best at one thing and getting it right every time. Which is why every chicken finger meal we serve is marinated, hand-battered, cooked to order, and made just for you. Quality isn't complicated, and our menu is proof.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
Skip the line and order with our app or online.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor. Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home. And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. The final segment, Don't Punt Hour. Good morning, Pierson-El, Harrison Arns. Wrapping it up with about 6 minutes on this segment. We'll talk a little bit of NBA before we get out of here. It happened. The Nuggets have been eliminated from the NBA playoffs. The Thunder beat them in Game 7. Really, there wasn't a key performer. It was really just a really great all-around performance from the Thunder, and the Nuggets just not enough. I mean, you got 20 from Jokic, and then you kind of knew it. If Jokic wasn't going to be dominant in that game, the Nuggets were really going to struggle pulling it off. Good morning, Pierson-El. Your thoughts? Thunder pull away in 7.
I mean, they ran out of gas. Like, they threw their best shot, and it stumbled them, but it wasn't enough to give them more energy. And I mean, the supporting cast kind of didn't do as much. I mean, and it was just really the Joker show, and I mean that can only carry you so long.
Yeah, I mean, they were kind of the whole series. They've been doing it. Sometimes it's worked out for the Nuggets where they have had those big games from Aaron Gordon or Brown or really anybody who wants it. But they were just throwing 4-3 bodies every chance they had, and nights where the other guys were really struggling to knock their shots down, like it was just an automatic loss. And sometimes it was ugly, like it was in, what was that, Game 3 where it got away like 149. It just kind of felt like that was pretty much it. Once they felt like Jokic was getting bottled up and the other guys weren't hitting shots, even before the end of that first half, where OKC forced a bunch of turnovers, you kind of felt like OKC was in control of it. That being said, they have the Timberwolves. On the East, you have the Knicks and the Pacers. Nobody had this drawn up. I'll say that much. I don't think not too many people out there would have guessed this playoff bracket.
For sure.
The East. Who do you like now as the favorite with what's left?
I mean, I like the Knicks. Both teams are scrappy. I just think they have a little bit more juice. I think they have. The Pacers do have veteran players, but I think the Knicks, their nucleus is more playoff battle tested. I think they have the older group. So I like the Knicks coming out of the East. I still think it'll go to probably Game 6. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to a Game 7. And then out of the West, I like Minnesota. I think if Minnesota and the Knicks go, I think that would be the battle of potentially the face of the NBA, because Brunson's knocking on the door, regardless of whatnot. He's in New York. He's on every media outlet and everything like that. You throw a NBA championship to that, and it would be hard to not say that he wouldn't be one of those players.
Yeah, seriously. Well, that's the thing with greatness too, is like the thing about greatness is like you never see it coming. Very rarely. It happens a lot quicker than you expect.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely do you have a guy like LeBron James throughout his entire high school career, like you just know he's going to be that guy.
Yeah.
Halliburton, the way he's just bursting onto the scene of things has been crazy, especially the way he's been viewed on by his peers. And I hear about that. I'll never understand it. Why that is between the people he's played with in the past. Maybe because it's just not that flashy, but when you look up at the box score, he just seems to fill it up every night. But yeah, I mean,
it's just not how it doesn't happen. How you would want kind of your superstar to kind of how them to like show and get it. It doesn't happen like that. So it's kind of like, it's hard marketing it.
Yeah. And it's in Indiana, which never helps.
Yeah.
So, not a slight against Indiana, but the NBA and their national viewership. There's a reason, Indiana, despite the record, doesn't always get picked for a ton of games all the time. Just, Halliburton. I like the Pacers, though, a lot. I was high on them this year. Not as high, to make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, but now with the Celtics not in the way anymore, I mean, I kind of like the Pacers over the Knicks. Knicks are really good. Why
do you say that?
Just style of play. I think they're both really young teams that are going to be both really comfortable going up and down the court, and I think that probably suits the Pacers a little bit better. Game 7, probably. I don't feel like this being a close series at all. Definitely not a 5 or 6 game. Probably 6 at the very least, but I think it probably goes 7.
I just think with Brunson and who he's had to go through and how he's had to go through him, you think he's gotten to that point, and regardless, like he's not going to will the team somehow, some way. We seen Cat come along. I know you say you like the Pacers and everything like that. Both teams are aggressive. Both teams can get up and down the floor and whatnot. I just like the consistency of how the Knicks scrap and how they kind of claw their way back in a little bit more. Not to say that the Pacers don't, but the Pacers was doing that against a wounded Cleveland team, and still was managing to scrape by. The Knicks were doing it against a fully healthy Boston team that that might have been shooting bad or whatever. They still closed the door.
Does this one come down to Miles Turner matchup, for the Pacers, and then his effectiveness versus Cat and whoever else wants to be attacking the rim?
I think so.
Like if Miles Turner, like as much as we're going to talk about Halliburton and Pascal Siakam and all the other, I think this would be, even if his numbers don't show it, like he's just going to have to be in the right place at the right time all the time, because that Knicks team's really good at just attacking the rim and rebounding as well. And Turner's the guy to grab the rebounds and set off the breaks majority of the time. I mean, you got one team who just wants to get out and run, and another team who's a lot more physical, more built for some half-court possessions and rebounding. They're both young. It's not that the Knicks can't play an up-tempo style, but
they can. Like I think the Knicks can match any way that the Pacers want to play. Yeah. I'm not so sure the Pacers can match consistently enough of a game like up to the Knicks. So you might do it for a quarter, you might do it for a half, maybe 3/4, but I don't think necessarily a full game, because when it gets down to it, like I said, I think there's just more layers to the Knicks offensive system and just to how they play the game.
Yeah, you might be right, because they're also might be just want to ride the hot hand. They did just beat the Boston Celtics, so beat defending champs. You feel pretty good about yourself. So that being said, good morning, Pierson-El. We're going to wrap it up here. A short version of the Don't Punt Hour as we wrapped up with some state baseball beforehand. Chance Brewington up next. Don't go anywhere.